Hello, unknown. Welcome, Earthians. Come one, come all. Hello. Um, yeah, so I made a video earlier. I posted it on my Schizophrenia blog. And I forgot to mention the dream I had. I got hurt, and the demonic voices wanted me to hurt them back, but I wouldn't. And they got very aggressive at me, these demons. And see, there's good voices that say they go hum, 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 and bad voices that say the bad people go num, 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 and basically like take and eat every life source of you away. Um, that feeling of, it's hard seeing people depressed and it's hard seeing miserable, but that feeling when somebody is they feel like quicksand. I don't know if you know what I mean. And you try to stay away from it by all means because it's kind of empathetically throws you into some sort of, weird, sick, depressed land yourself as well. And I woke up with so much hatred. Well, actually, I woke up into a reality where it was sunny outside. It's actually 2 o'clock where I live here in the morning. And then I actually woke up in this reality, if this reality is even this reality. But it is because I'm touching this wall here, so apparently it is. And I couldn't move for like a minute. And in my gut, they didn't specifically say it this time. But I thought if I moved my arms, they call this sleep paralysis. I hope this doesn't continue for me in the future because this is the first time it's happened to me. Then God would accept me. In my brain, I did this equation like that makes any sense at all. It makes no sense at all. It should accept me no matter what, if there is a God. Even though I speak to this devil guy, hopefully there's an opposer, or hopefully he's just his right hand man. If you ask me through my schizophrenic journey, what my definition of the devil is he's helped me, but yet he's tortured me. It makes no sense to me. He's smarter than everything I know. He knows everything. He knows the time before I look up. He'll tell me it. He even knows the score to the fucking Patriots game before I look at it. This has happened to me. I've had visions where, let's say, I have a friend that lives in Florida. Her name, well, I won't say her name, but she went to a mental hospital, not because she's schizophrenic, but she met somebody there who was schizophrenic. Well, let me explain the beginning of the story. I was laying on my futon at the time, 2 years ago, and I had this vision of her face that came into my brain, and a vision of a spider. 15 minutes later, she messages me on Facebook and says, "Hey Keith, I found somebody schizophrenic like you. She's a girl, and she sees bugs, and she sees dead people." Now, I had this precognition of this happening. This stuff happens. I mean, spoken from my projection. To me, it happens. It's real. I have proof in my brain, or, that's another thing I like to talk about. Thoughts that come in and out of your head. Do we think them, or is it just like this flowing river of knowledge, that just kind of, are we transmitters? Or are we actually the thinkers? I don't know. I also want to talk about this Florida thing. Yeah, I figured I'd make this video a little bit more upbeat, a little bit more positive. That was a bad time to say that. No, I want to talk about this Florida thing that makes me feel like I want to cry for an eternity. I can't believe I just said those words after I said the Florida incident. But anyways, People say, I'm 32 years old and I'm pretty fucking wise, okay? People say, they'll latch on to anything that kind of sounds smart, right? People say, guns don't kill people, people kill people. True, but why? Some of us are empathetically wired. Some of us don't have it. Some of us act impulsively. You really think that person who was wanting to hurt somebody, if there was no guns around, no fabulous guns around, in the words, I don't even know Donald Trump, I'm just picking on, I like saying it, it's cute to say, it's adorable, fabulous. This person who's doesn't have this empathy wire in his brain and is just impulsive, like the rest of the people who do this things, shoot up people and whatever. You think if there were no guns around, they'd still find a way to hurt people, wouldn't they? Because that's what they plan to do. I think the real problem is that 90% of the time, the people around that person who needs help or to be confined somewhere so he doesn't take innocent lives, or she, or he, she, so they don't take innocent lives, the people around them usually feel this, or they're usually told, this is what I'm about to do. I looked at this 90% of the time, this is what happens. I think that's what people should be focusing on. As you get older, you hear the same stories over and over and over again. And with age comes wisdom, and you see the same people protesting the same things every 4 years, and it's sad in a way, because indoctrination, meaning, what indoctrination means is you hear words and they enter your brain, your cerebral, and then you think how they think, to indoctrinate, to teach, So, what I'm seeing from life, in my experience in this earth of humanity, is very few people that choose to think for themselves, as opposed to jump on a bandwagon like when Katrina happened. I mean, nobody did anything until afterwards. We are the Katrina society. And the reason why that is because, well, I'm more concerned about the album that I just made, as opposed to paying attention to my intuitive, this so-called word subconscious that was created in the 1800s. Is it actually a subconscious, or is it just something we haven't tapped into because we're so busy with all these things? Like James Orwell said, one day we're going to be a society that's all looking into phones. And he was right. My point being is, like before 9/11 happened, there was this statistic data spike, okay, around the whole world. So collectively as humans, we intuitively felt together something bad was going to happen, but had no idea what it was going to happen, and had no idea ourselves it was happening, because we wasn't in tune to this in-depth, intuitive feeling we all have inside of us, that I can see in my mind, and the twists, and the precognitions, and the visions, and so on and so forth. So I wanted to talk about that topic a bit, try to ripple some knowledge out there for people who are having a hard time coping with such a hard thing to cope with. Don't be so quick to say, do this, do that, do this. It's been going on forever, guys. You know, some people are wired the right way empathetically, and some people aren't wired the right way empathetically. Studies show that brains can't. Some brains are impulsive, some brains aren't. Some people have the switch button to turn off before they do something bad. Some people don't. That's that. These people will find any way they can to harm another human being, even if it wasn't a gun. So, you know, yeah, it brings me back to what I was also talking about. What's sad is that, you know, as you go older, you see the repetition of these conversations, and people complain nothing's being done. Well, what we can do is indoctrinate the schooling system of Finland, which has no homework and dedicated teachers and allows the kids to be Nikola Teslas. By the way, if you don't know who that is, was a great inventor who was the real inventor of electricity. But Thomas Edison stole his work, and Nikola Tesla died in a hotel in New York after moving here from Europe on a boat. I don't know if they had airplanes back in the 1920s or 30s, or whenever the fuck day that was. Anyways, where was I going? You know, we can start there. We can start by making our prison systems more healthier. Sometimes the most hated people need the most love, guys. They really do. I heard this quote from this show I used to like watching called Oz. Also, we can also start a program where, like, you invent something, like, say, heated roads. Now we don't need to plow snow trucks. I mean, these things are so simple to me that if I was cloned into 8 billion me's, the world would already be in the stars. Thing is that there's such a thing called constant duality. And what this is that if you have a passionate point and this person has a passionate point, both of you will argue at any means necessary. In some cases, it starts wars. Oh yeah, we can indoctrinate all the great. It's like that. I'm getting all these ideas from that Michael Moore documentary, like in Italy. The CEOs are just as equal as the company people. Let's pick another country. Am I the only one? I'm sure I'm not. Like, there's so many things. But, yeah, I woke up like that and was very scared and made a video and realized, holy shit, I didn't explain that I was getting hurt first, and I didn't want to make it seem like the voices tell me to hurt people when I'm awake. They don't. And they haven't yet, and I'm glad they haven't. But for the past 3 days, have felt a horrible vibe that has been draining me of my energy. And the paranoia is intense. So I react to it like this, with a sense of humor, because even though as soon as I turn this camera off, I'm going to go back to being scared and what's that and all that shit, and attend to my voices and whatnot. So yeah, I guess I have to stop this video now. I haven't done a schizophrenic blog and update in a while, and if you have any questions or comments, let me know. And if you would like to know any more stories that fascinate or interest you but horrify me, I'm fucking with you. It's true though. It is interesting in a way, even though it's a horrifying fucking experience. It needs to be told. In any case, because I might be onto something here. I call it my schizophrenic journey because I choose to learn from it. I always can learn something from anything. When the normal becomes abnormal, and the abnormal becomes normal. All right, peace. Love y'all. Bye.